It was a rough and humbling loss in Indiana to start this 4-game road trip for the Pistons. They didn't do much right. But the beauty of the NBA is there's always another night. 48 hours after that 37-point loss to the Pacers, the Pistons visit Orlando with a fresh perspective and renewed belief to take on the young but inconsistent Magic here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Orlando. We'll get to Gregory Kelser in a minute. Friday night was tough to take. As I said, Pistons didn't do much right in their worst loss of the season, but for as bad as they were on the floor, they took care of business inside the locker room in a closed-door meeting with coaches and players, and they said all the right things.
To stand for what the Detroit Pistons organization stands for, which is hard work, togetherness, grit, grind. We had no examples of that tonight.
You won't have to wait till the end of this game or the final score to see if this meeting, this coming together, this collective look in the mirror has had any impact.
These two teams feature two of the better big men in all the league. We'll hear from Andre Drummond on his challenge and what he expects from his team tonight when he sits down with Greg in tonight's game plan right after this. One of the goals for Tobias Harris this year is to become an all-star. Tell you what, he's played like one so far, hasn't he? He torched Minnesota for a career-tying high 34 in a Pistons Wednesday win. Tonight, he and the Pistons kick off their first West Coast trip of the year. Folks, we're in Los Angeles, known as the City of Angels, but NBA teams are having a devilish time beating the Clippers. The Pistons aim at being the first here at Staples Center and here on Fox Sports Detroit. How you doing, everybody? Alongside my partner, Greg Kelser, I'm Matt Shepard. We'll hear from Johnny Kane in a little bit. Detroit coming off a very impressive win over an improved Minnesota team. What would you like to see them carry over from Wednesday night to tonight, Greg?
Easily, Matt, the ball movement. We talked about it before the Minnesota game as being a key if they could get it and sustain it, and I like their chances.
Well, they also outscored the T-Wolves in fast break points 24-0, and that's been a nice habit to get into as well. They got a new-look Clippers team. There is no Chris Paul, there's no Jamal Crawford, there's no J.J. Redick. What makes us think this should be Blake Griffin's team and they can win with him as the focal point?
Well, I think, it's a freer, more loose basketball team right now. If this game is on the line, he wasn't too bad against Portland, was he?
He hit that game-winning three-pointer to beat the Blazers and keep the Clippers the only undefeated team in the league so far. But the big fellas inside will have a say in this one, too. They are the two best rebounders in the game. Andre Drummond and DeAndre Jordan are the focus of a thunderous Greg's game plan when we continue right after this on Fox Sports Detroit. The synergy on opening night was obvious, wasn't it? Pistons two stars, Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, were feeding off one another all night. They combined for 50 points and 28 boards in a Pistons three-point win. Tonight, they seek a similar performance in this year's first road game of the season. The Pistons are at the United Center in downtown Chicago for the Bulls home opener, and only here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everyone, alongside former national champ Greg Kelser, I'm Matt Shepard. We'll pick it up with Johnny Kane in a moment. Love the 1-2 punch of Drummond and Griffin the other night against the Nets. What made him so effective?
Well, the fact that both are big, sturdy, and they will wear you down over the course of a game, and that's what happened in their win against Brooklyn. And it's a good thing because the Pistons needed all of them.
Yeah, no question. Nice win for them, though, and they were able to get that victory despite missing some valuable bodies. Johnny Kane, is Dwayne Casey's bench a little bit deeper tonight?
Yeah, you better believe it. Tough to gauge exactly where you are until you see exactly what you have.
So having Stanley Johnson and both Reggie Bullock there to defend is going to be a big plus.
Dwayne Casey told us Levine, one of the best one-on-one offensive players in the entire NBA. Stay right there. A ton more to come here from Chicago. Besides being Pistons, Andre Drummond, Stanley Johnson, and Henry Ellenson all have something in common. They were one-and-done players in college. We debate a recent NBA G League proposal with a couple of friends when we come back to Chicago on Fox Sports Detroit. Good stuff there. Good stuff from Michigan as well. Dane, when you look at the Wolverines in their season opener, they had 6 players with 8 points or more. Tonight, balance again the name of the game, 4 players with 8 points or more.
Well, I think that part of the game, that part of Michigan's game is important, but
Folks, if last night is any indication, this Pistons season should be exhilarating. Down by as many as 15 in the fourth quarter in Washington, the Pistons raced back into it against the Wizards, took the lead, but victory slipped out of their fingertips. Tonight, Reggie Jackson and the Pistons play the tail end of their first back-to-back of the year. They're in New York for the Knicks home opener, and we've got it for you right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everybody. Alongside my partner, Greg Kelser, I'm Matt Shepard. We'll hear from Johnny Kane in a moment. Look, a year ago, that team might lose by 25 in Washington last night. Instead, their backcourt duo kept them scratching and clawing. What'd you like most about that Bradley-Jackson synergy?
Well, first of all, I agree with your point about last year, but let's go back 2 years ago. And the hallmark of that Pistons playoff year was that you never want to fall down by 15, but it's a good sign based on what we saw last night, that if it does happen, Matt, they're not out of it.
Here's the beauty of things, okay? Detroit couldn't get it done last night and trying to snap a series losing streak in Washington. They've got a second crack here tonight at Madison Square Garden, where they've lost 4 in a row. In order to do that, they must contain Kristaps Porzingis. Greg's game plan explains how they must rise up to accomplish that when we return on Fox Sports Detroit right after this. The Pistons have seized control of the Central Division. Andre Drummond was a force on the defensive end and on the offensive side of the floor to win over Milwaukee last night. He's daring people to foul him now. Tonight, the challenge is for the Pistons, Drummond, and everybody else to keep it rolling. They are on the tail end of a back-to-back as the Sacramento Kings come calling. Pistons and the 1-7 Kings here at Little Caesars Arena, and only here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everybody. Alongside my partner, Greg Kelser, I'm Matt Shepard. We'll hear from Johnny Kane in a moment. Last night, sure, Andre Drummond with a season-best 24, but the headline was his career night at the free throw line. Why is he so much better this year compared to last?
Well, he's worked on it a lot, and he's finally found something that agrees with him mechanically. And if we look at the way that Andre shot the ball earlier in his career and even last season, and compared to the way he's shooting it now, it's easy to see why he's having this success.
They get a Kings team that's on a 6-game slide. How do they avoid a mental letdown tonight?
Just think about what happened in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know, you go to the West Coast and you knock off the Clippers, and then you beat Golden State, and then you come back and you can't get yourselves ready to play the Lakers, and you end up marring what was a sensational trip. But this is an opportunity now against the Kings team that you should flat out dispatch early. The Kings aren't coming in here expecting to win, but allow them to stick around and that confidence will grow. The thing the Pistons want to do, folks, is make sure at the end of the season you don't look back and have those shake your head moments and trying to figure out why you lost to a certain opponent. Lose to the Kings tonight and that will be what you'll do.
Pistons have won 6 of the last 7 in the series here at home. If they want to continue that trend, they have to start quickly. That is the focus of Greg and Grant's game plan when we return to Little Caesars Arena on Fox Sports Detroit right after this. Milwaukee up by as many as 21. They're in front by 16 at the break. Join Andre Drummond and the Pistons for their first home game of the new year. They take on the Utah Jazz on Saturday, January 5th at 7 o'clock. For tickets, call the number on your screen, 248-377-0100, or go to the website, Pistons.com. Pistons had some really good numbers in that opening half. 13 assists on 20 makes, only 5 turnovers, and they've allowed just 1 offensive rebound. But Greg, 42 points in the paint for Milwaukee really stands out. It's our Miller Lite moment.